sometimes even that perspective of the expectations that people have for us, we project those onto other people. Mm-hmm. And so, like, what do you think about the expectations? What do you think about the expectations that your parents have for you?
I'm questioning them now because I was gonna say they had a lot of expectations for me, but now I'm wondering like how many of those did I put on myself? But very similar. Like I feel the expectation was, you go to school, you get good grades, then you go to college, and you get a job. Like that's just what you do. Like that's just what you do. So I kind of stuck with that. But I think that for me, like I'm an instant gratification type of person. Mm-hmm. Like I need to, if I'm doing something, I need to see results. So like if I'm putting forth effort in school, I want to get the best grades possible.
Right.
I want to have a good career. I want to make a difference. And I feel like a lot of things that I've done, especially like growing up until now, it's been like, oh, Devin, we're so proud of you, whatever. So just knowing like, okay, they're kind of waiting for the next, what can they be proud of? So I've like found myself like, all right, what can I do now that's going to make them super proud of me? So I think a little bit of that was putting an expectation on myself, but in doing so, I feel like it makes me a better person, not better than anyone else, but, just kind of like, keeps me like always going, always trying to do the next thing, always wanting to be productive. So half of the expectation I feel like my parents had for me, and then the other half I was probably putting it on myself.
Hello, openers. Welcome to Open Relationships, where we talk about all things in the LGBTQ plus community from A to Z and beyond. I am your host, Solomon.
I'm Devin.
And I'm Tay.
And so we are a man short today. Yeah, why is Rodney gone today?
Does anybody know where he is?
I don't.
I don't either. Just leave it at that.
Well, I kind of like the lighting better in this seat, so...
Oh, so you just going to take advantage of the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy tonight's show. So let's go ahead and get started.
Well, maybe we just go ahead and boot him on over to the corner.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So how's your week been?
I had a good week. I actually got Teacher of the Week for last week.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Just because I'm fairly new to the school still. Mm-hmm. So just to be able to like build such a good relationship with all the students and the staff. And then for them to acknowledge me, because it's like, we don't need to be acknowledged. But of course, when you do get that acknowledgement, it feels good to know that you're doing your job the right way and beyond.
Look, teachers really need to be acknowledged because right now, there's a teacher shortage. You have like 60 plus kids in a classroom, some classrooms.
I was about to say, oh, no.
Not you, but I remember we had a redistricting when I was teaching high school in a local county. Mm-hmm. And we had like between 40 and 60 students in a classroom. Oh, no. Like there was a day I was sitting on top of the filing cabinet.
That has to be illegal.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. That's why you didn't.
But the kids had to go somewhere.
It's not the county that I work in, even though we don't have 60 kids. No. But it's not the county I work in? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But teachers, y'all are doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for everything that y'all do.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all are welcome.
But it is what made me quit and become a counselor.
And I can see why. Love my job, though. Don't think I don't.
Tay, how's your week been?
This week's been pretty good. Other than all the people passing away, it's been okay.
You did say there are a few people that passed away.
I lost like 4 friends in 1 week.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
It's crazy, but, I guess it's just circle of life.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with all that?
I was dealing with one, and then it's just like one came after the other. So it's like I can't stop grieving. Like I'm constantly grieving, and like these are people that I've known. Like these are like close friends. So I'm just like, damn, and they all around the same age. So it's kind of scary. Like they all just dropping dead. And,
So young, yeah.
Yeah, so young, but all I can do is take it one day at a time and keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you do have my birthday events to look forward to.
Girl.
That might cheer you up.
Really?
I mean, it will. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, Devin. That'll definitely cheer me up. Thank you.
So that's where we go.
Okay.
Is that how we help people grieve?
Yes, you do something. You want to offer them some type of like something that might make them feel better or something they'll enjoy. Tay enjoys having a good time. My birthday's gonna be amazing. We're gonna look amazing, and you're gonna feel amazing.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm sorry for all your loss, but guess what? I'm alive. I'm still here. Let's celebrate me.
Only Devin.
No. But I just want you to feel better, that's all.
Yeah, I will feel better. I'll be okay. I'm handling though. It's just like I said, I'm taking more time to appreciate the people I still have, because like again, we just never know. And seeing all this happen so like suddenly, so it make you really appreciate the people you do have around you right now. Even the ones that you have like, if you had bad blood with and stuff, like I've even reached out to people that, I haven't talked to in a while just to let them know like, hey, I know we had our issues in the past, but life is too short to just hold on to grudges and stuff. Let's just move forward and enjoy the time we have together. Because this.
I feel like you're talking to me because I like when as you're saying that, I'm thinking of a person that I need to probably reach out to, and not that I did anything, but it was just kind of like I guess it was that person's fault, and things kind of.
Why am I not surprised? That would be
okay. But no, I know how to take accountability. But in this case, like I didn't have to react the way I did, so I will take accountability for that. However, it was that person that kind of initiated us or got us in the space that we're in. And because my feelings were hurt so bad and I was so pissed off, things just went like away. But to your point, like I definitely, and this person is family, so I feel like I definitely need to, of course, listening to this, reach out to them and just try to at least make things right.
Yeah, if you can make it right, make it right. It's not worth it. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Solomon?
My week has actually been pretty good. It's been a good week. We hit a very big milestone at work.
Okay.
I have friends in town. I have a friend in town, and and so I've really just been enjoying my time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's good. You got a nice glow and smile and everything.
Don't I?
You do. Yes.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
That must be quite the friend.
It is. It is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drink to that.
Look, I will drink to that. Look. All right. So it's up to you. It's your turn.
It is my turn. So tonight we are actually being sponsored by Crown again, but this time they gave us the Crown Peach in the can. Production told me not to reach with the whole mic situation, y'all. But so we have Crown Royal Peach, and it's actually a peach tea. To me, it reminds me like literally like a legit Southern peach tea. So like if I was going to maybe not my grandmother's, but somebody's grandmother's house, down south, this would be something I would drink. It just happens to have alcohol in it. So I don't know. I say go get you a can or two, and sit back and sip it.
So you bring this to somebody's grandma's house?
No, you're not listening. I said that this tastes like a tea that I would drink at somebody's grandmother's house. So like, say I just said, hey, do you have anything to drink? And she's like, oh yeah, I got some peach tea for you. This tastes like regular peach tea. Like you can't taste the alcohol.
What's the difference?
I don't know. We should ask them. Well, what do you mean? What's the difference?
Because I mean, with a bottle, you can actually taste the alcohol.
Well,
so
it
you
depends
can't
on the
taste
pour.
it.
True. But
Well,
I think
that's
this
true.
is it might be less percentage.
I think it's tasty.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Crown
Y'all don't,
Peach.
huh?
Crown Peach, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Crown Peach. I appreciate it.
Do you like it?
I didn't drink none.
I don't have time today.
So
I mean, but I have had Crown Peach before, and it does taste good.
okay, so you would recommend it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Crown. But I think that, well, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so I'm Pillow Talk with Tay today. So we're gonna start off with our review. We had our homework this past week. We all listened to Babyface's new album, Girls Night Out. And what you guys think of it?
What did you think of it?
So I actually enjoyed it. I've listened to it a few times. It wasn't what I was expecting from him. But I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite song is Whatever, with Tink. I really like that song. And I also like the song with Baby Tate too. Those two I think I listen to more than any other songs. But kudos to Babyface. Like, I guess he's trying to say, bitch, I'm old, but I still got it, because he did his thing. What do you think, Devin?
I liked it. It wasn't what I expected. I expected something more old school, like,
Me
old
too.
school Babyface.
Yeah, Babyface, yeah.
And I would have appreciated that more. But I did enjoy the album though. Simple is my favorite song with Coco.
Coco Jones?
Yeah, that's my favorite song. I don't know, just it kind of brings back or brings up like a lot of feelings, not in a bad way or like about a particular relationship, but just kind of like puts me in like a lovey-dovey, relationship-y type of mood, and I like that. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed the album. It's not what I was expecting.
Right.
My favorite song would be Liquor with Ari Lennox.
Her voice she just has the most unique voice.
I love Ari Lennox. For me, like, she could do no wrong.
Yeah.
So when I heard the album, that was the song that I gravitated back to. So when you're like, I listened to it a few times or a couple times, yeah, that wasn't me. But like, when I think about these old school artists, like when Maxwell released that album Pretty Wings,
Oh my
that
God.
reminded me of Maxwell. Like that was so very much Maxwell, and I enjoyed it. And then he had that was it an orchestra, a live band in the back? Like, people don't make music like that anymore. So I was hoping to get like, Babyface is who you listen to when you
Yeah. You
facing
ain't even gotta say it. Yeah. So what old school Babyface song y'all like?
Ooh.
I don't even think I can name one.
My favorite is Whip Appeal.
Ooh,
That is my song.
I would go with Whip Appeal.
Whip Appeal?
I think that would be my number one.
I love that song.
Yeah, I wish he could have given us that vibe on this. Because imagine using like Tink, Coco Jones, like all Ari Lennox. Like imagine like him coming with the old school Babyface vibe and them having to match the vibe with their vocals. I feel like that would have been good.
Yeah, I felt like this was a Babyface album celebrating women.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of appreciation for that.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the women that he used and stuff. They don't get as much light and shine as they should. And I think that was more one of his purposes of doing it. Because, Baby Tay, she's not talked about a lot. Or even Ari Lennox, like, she just put out a second album and stuff. You don't really hear people talk about it.
She's on Love and Hip Hop, isn't she?
Yeah, she's on Love and Hip Hop. She's a rapper and a singer.
Yeah, I was about to say,
she does both. She's very talented, though. So it's like those artists. She's very talented. Yeah. Have you heard her music? No?
I've only seen her on Love and Hip Hop, and she wasn't that talented on there when I saw her. But that was on TV, so I don't know.
Well, I think she's very talented. She has her own unique style.
She does,
and I enjoy that about her. But yeah, I just feel like those artists he was giving them a moment, and that's what it was, a moment. Queen Naji. Who else was on?
I love Queen Naji.
I love her too.
It's not Nija.
Nija Queen. However, you know who I meant.
No, well, y'all both said it, so I was about to say.
I don't know, but I think that's how I go. But yeah, like her. Yeah, I like her.
I like her too.
And what's the other girl? Is it Doshi?
I know you're talking about. I don't know who she is.
She's new. She performed on the BET Awards, and she's dope.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually liked that song too because she did her.
Would y'all go to the concert?
Who's concert?
Like, say it was in Atlanta and Babyface did like
with those songs?
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I would.
Feel like it'd be a cute date night.
Yeah, I would go.
You don't agree?
So we're saying that this is a concert?
Yeah, like
No, I wouldn't go to a concert. But if it was like at Cat's Cafe, if it was like at Cat's Cafe or something that was intimate
Okay.
with a smaller venue,
Okay.
I would do that.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a better experience that way because of the type of artists they have.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
But if it was like me going to an arena and watch it, no.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, something. All right. So moving on. So on the next part of my segment, we're gonna talk about Mama Joyce, which is, if you don't know who she is
God.
Candy Burris' mother from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Monster-in-law.
Yes, child. So
Look,
over the
I
weekend,
didn't say nothing. But
because he loves Candy, Mama Joyce. So, so over the weekend, at BravoCon, Mama Joyce was asked if she could replace Candy's husband, Todd Tucker, with anyone, who would she pick? And she responded by saying someone who had money. And specifically, she also said that,
Right, that's so ignorant.
right, because that's your son-in-law. Like, I just thought that was like so. But I mean, it's not the first time Mama Joyce thing came for Todd. You know, she's always
especially
said
with his finances.
yes. So she was just like, she would have chose someone who was more on Candy's level financially, and but I just feel like Candy and Todd been married 9 years now,
okay.
like 9 years. So I just feel like at this point, like enough is enough. Like Candy at this point, I feel like Candy hasn't put her mother in her place when it comes to her husband, because she's always dogging Todd out, even on the show.
Yeah.
And I get that that's your mom and stuff, but that's your husband. That's your, that's your partner. Like at some point, all are laughing it off, because she laughs it off most of the time when someone brings it to her attention. I know that she always laughs it off because, I mean, she don't want to say anything negative, but at some point, you got to be like, Mom, okay, this is my husband. We've been getting married this long. Like, either you going to respect him or...
Especially on TV. Like, we're not just having like, our little family disputes. This is for the world to see.
Yes.
And you keep calling my man broke. Like,
bro, he's only there for the money. Like...
What would you do if one of your parents said that about your spouse?
Well, prayerfully, I wouldn't be in a situation where I make way, 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 way more than my husband. However,
girl,
did you really have to do that?
Would you have to go there?
So hypothetically, but hopefully I wouldn't be in that situation. But I would definitely check my parents, especially if like, we've been together for this long, then that this person has proven they're not here for my money. They're not trying to take advantage. And we really do love each other. So especially compared to like a lot of the, celebrity marriages and things like that you see. Not to say that everything's great, but, if this is my person, then you got to back up. So I would just have that conversation. And if you can't respect it, then you can't come around. And you're definitely not getting camera time if you're going to be calling my man broke every chance you get. Like,
thank you.
We can't do that. Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
But Candy's mom also wants all Candy's money for her.
Yes, I truly believe that. Yes. Like,
and she wants to make sure, God forbid, when Candy passes away, that she would be the one to inherit, and she just wants to. She likes to be in control for one. That's what I've observed. And then she also doesn't realize that Candy's a grown ass married woman, and she wants all the money for herself. That's what I feel about her mom.
Okay.
Well, thank God I ain't got those problems. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I love my mother-in-law.
What would I do? Again, prayerfully, not the same prayer, but but prayerfully, I wouldn't want to give my parent that opportunity.
Okay.
Because not only are you disrespecting my partner or my man, you're disrespecting me.
Right.
And so, like, you are the family I came from. This is the family I created.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to respect that.
Exactly. Yeah, same here. I don't have an issue with my mom or my mother-in-law, thank God. But if I did, I tell my mom to mind her damn business. Yeah. And she knows that. So when it comes to my relationship, though, I don't involve my mother. I don't involve my mother in it. I don't involve his mother in it. It's just we deal with it and we keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, you have to think about once you bring them into it, they always into it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, I think I had to learn that the hard way with siblings because like when my ex and I would go through things, like I could tell my parents and they would be able to like, listen and give their input, but then still get around the both of us and act like, I didn't just talk a bunch of shit about that person.
Right.
But siblings, it's not quite the same. So while they may try to still be like respectful to some degree, it's still like just not the same. So I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep my problems to myself. Like between me and him, we gonna work it out together or we just ain't gonna work it out. But bringing my parents in, because I don't like, again, like with my mom, my mother lives with us, so I would never go and tell her something that we have an issue with, because again, we're all in the same household. I don't want her looking at him crazy or vice versa. So
now it's tension.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that, child. At all. So just keep to ourselves. I just feel like it's better. Like if you're in a relationship with your partner and y'all have that understanding, you don't need no outside help unless you're going to a counselor or something like that. Right. But as far as bringing your family and friends, to me, that's just always a no. It don't never turn out good.
I agree. Had to learn it the hard way, but I agree. I mean, I feel like there's people that you can talk to though, but you just got to know who those people are. Like people that are really for you, like have your best interest at heart. People that are not like messy drama, and honestly, somebody that's kind of spiritually grounded and connected. So that way, like I can trust that you're giving me advice from a place of like experience and like what God may have given you, like naturally what your spirit leads you to say. And not just giving me, advice from a place of jealousy or, something crazy like that.
Yeah, I agree, and you bring up a really good point. Like if I'm gonna confide in somebody about my relationship, first you need to be about me, and then you also need to be about our relationship,
right?
And so like I have had friends who weren't advocates for relationships, and so when you fuss about relationship, their immediate thing is to be like, oh, you need to get out of that.
Negative,
like, no.
Leave him alone.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I'm not gonna say, but I'm gonna say this: you can share. Is you got to know what to share,
right.
Like, and be careful.
So let me ask y'all this: so we're speaking of like people having your best interest at heart. So how do y'all navigate through like having people in your close circle who you feel like aren't there for you? Not there for you like, oh, I got your back if you need something, but like there for you like, I'm rooting for you, I support you, you know what I mean? Versus like, I really don't really care for you, I'm a little bit jealous of you. But how do you navigate through those situations?
But would they be in your close circle?
So it's not a close circle like, oh, let's go hang out close circle. Say it's like a business like close circle or even a podcast maybe. So like say there's a podcast group.
I show up, I participate, but then I go about my business.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna give like if I don't feel safe in the group, if I don't feel safe in the environment, then you're not gonna get all of me. I'm always gonna be on guard to some degree.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if I don't feel comfortable like sharing things with you, then it's gonna be business and keep it moving. Yeah, I don't. I'm not real big on trust, so
yeah. Okay, just a thought.
What about you?
I would probably be more so like you, I guess, like just I'm gonna be like I'm kind of unplugging, I'm disconnected, and that's gonna be that. That's probably what I would do, just because I feel like I don't know. Sometimes if you address things and you're looking for like a result, you're not going to get that result because it's not really changing how the person feels.
Right.
They may act differently, but you know how they really feel. So sometimes it's not worth the conversation. I would just, like you said, just kind of unplug and let it be business.
Yeah, I agree. Are we good?
Y'all sure y'all don't want any of my grandma's speech?
Okay.
I have enough. Is that it for the menage a trois?
That's it.
All right. So for today's menage a trois, Tay, you brought up this conversation of how do we navigate expectations from outside of ourselves? How do we navigate expectations from like our family and our parents? And so when you brought this question up, I really had to think about it because I grew up in a household where there was an expectation: you go to school, or you go into the military, you have a career, you work that career for however many years, you retire, and then you do whatever retired folks do. Now, I went to school, got my degrees, and then like the whole work a 9-to-5 kind of deal wasn't kind of my thing. So I went into entrepreneurship. I went into management in certain spaces. but I always navigated this world as a free spirit. Like I wasn't always bound to someone else's expectations of me. And so when you brought this question up, I remember a conversation that I had with my mom, especially after becoming a counselor. And we started talking about like expectation. I was like, you guys were very strict on us. And like, you know, we were expected to do this, this, and this. And she was like, no, you weren't. She was like, all those expectations that you just talked about, you put those on yourself. And I was like,
That's deep.
Right. And of course, she put that responsibility and that accountability right back on me.
Right.
And she was like, no, you came home with your first B and you cried your eyes out. And she was like, your brother came, your brother came home with other grades and we loved him anyway. And so she was like, you were the one who had to be the perfectionist. You were the one who had to do this and you were the one who had to do that. And like, I realized after that conversation that, you know, sometimes even that perspective of the expectations that people have for us, we project those onto other people. And so, like, what do you think about the expectations? What do you think about the expectations that your parents have for you?
I'm questioning them now because I was gonna say they had a lot of expectations for me, but now I'm wondering like how many of those did I put on myself? But very similar. Like I feel the expectation was, you know, you go to school, you get good grades, then you go to college, and you get a job. You know, like that's just what you do. Like that's just what you do. So I kind of stuck with that. But I think that for me, like I'm an instant gratification type of person. Like I need to, if I'm doing something, I need to see results. So like if I'm putting forth effort in school, I want to get the best grades possible.
Right.
Like, you know, I want to have a good career. I want to make a difference. And I feel like a lot of things that I've done, you know, especially like growing up until now, it's been like, oh, Devin, we're so proud of you, you know, whatever. So just knowing like, okay, they're kind of waiting for the next, what can they be proud of? So I've like found myself like, all right, what can I do now that's going to make them super proud of me? So I think a little bit of that was putting an expectation on myself, but in doing so, I feel like it makes me a better person, not better than anyone else, but you know, just kind of like keeps me like always going, always trying to do the next thing, always wanting to be productive. So half of the expectation I feel like my parents had for me, and then the other half I was probably putting it on myself.
So, not to get too far into the conversation because I really want to know what you think, but you talk about that next thing, thing. Like I was having this conversation with a nurse practitioner who got her doctorates, and then we were in this conversation. She was like, I want to go get this certification, I want to do this and this, and I was like, at what point is it enough? Like at what point do we get to wherever we want to be and we're just like, I'm good here?
For certain people, I don't think it'll ever be enough. And in my case, like I'll always be grateful. Like even now I'm grateful, but there's still so much more that I want. And I feel like even when I do have way more money and, you know, like just different things that I'm working towards now, I'm still going to want more. And not in a sense of I don't have enough, but I just feel like certain people, including myself, like are capable of so much and doing so much. So it's not really about things I need to have, but it's about like stuff that I want to do. So like how she's getting all these degrees and certifications, it sounds like she's going to have like 20 degrees and certifications and only do something with maybe one of them. So like that part, I don't really understand. But as far as like doing something where it's going to like yield a result or make the world a better place or, you know, whatever, like I don't want to stop that. So I'm kind of different than this girl. I don't know how she's like, I'm barely making it through my master's program. So, like, thankfully I have, what do I have? 3 B's and an A. Currently.
You better have good grades without the ditching and dodging unless you fit.
It's a struggle though. But yeah, kudos to her, whoever she is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not a school person at all.
But here you are.
Yeah, here I am. Hanging on by a thread in my master's program.
So tell you, what are your perception of your parents' expectations of you?
So I'll say that I don't know if my mom ever really gave me any expectation. I think my expectations came from like being around like my family, seeing, you know, them, like my uncles, aunties graduate from high school, go to college and stuff. So I kind of see that's where my expectation came from. Just like, okay, that's what they did, and obviously that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Did I do those things? No. Like as I got older and, you know, I started making my own choices and stuff, yeah, that kind of took me off of that expectation route. So I will say that I wish I would have stayed on that, but, you know, again, life happens and, you know, you start making your own choices and being grown and, you know, being fast and, you know.
I was about to say
Not
being
being
a
fast.
hoe.
Not being a hoe, but just, you know,
Fast.
like,
hoe.
I mean,
Same. I mean,
whatever.
I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe that was my hoe phase. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Well, no, technically it wasn't even a hoe phase because, I mean, I was with someone, but, I mean, it's just, I would say that choices that I made, that I chose to make for myself, you know, landed me where, you know, where I'm at now. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at now, but then I would have preferred to have taken a different route.
So what is one thing that you would have done differently that you can say like right now off the top of your head?
Definitely stayed in high school.
You didn't graduate high school?
Dropped out.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell it. Did you tell us that?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't
so.
think you did.
Yeah, I
didn't
dropped
know that.
out.
Okay.
And
What
it
grade?
was to 11th.
Okay, so you're
But yeah, it was like I said, it was my choice. I was dating someone at the time and they had got like hurt really bad,
Mhm.
and I dropped out of school to take care of them because like they had to have brain surgery and
Oh
stuff.
my God.
And yeah, I dropped out of school to take care of them.
Do y'all still talk to this day, like to some degree?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, it was my first love.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Did he get shot?
no, he got beaten in the head like with a bat or something
my
like
God.
that. Yeah, and he
Why
didn't.
did you ask that?
I mean, I don't know. Just like I don't know. It could have been health related, but
But no, that's what
you
happened.
hear somebody so young.
he was
having,
gay
like,
bashed.
brain surgery after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was gay bashed. So when it happened, he didn't really have anyone else to take care of him at the time. You know, he had to go to, you know, therapy and everything. So I was missing a lot of school already, and you know, I loved him, so
Yeah. Oh.
I did what I had to do. You know, but I wish I would have stayed in school. You know, at that time.
But do you ever think about going back and finishing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, that's definitely on the top of my list. Actually, this year. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna go back and finish.
Rooting for you. Let us know what we
yeah.
can do. You know, I'm a teacher, so I can help you study.
Yeah, I
something.
definitely that's definitely something I really want to do. And again, like I said, I'm not I don't want to say I regret it. Well, actually I do because the bitch cheated on me and shit, but I mean, I did a good deed. I took care of him. I brought him back to I brought him back to health. You know, he was able, you know, he's still around, you know,
You would have
but
been back in the hospital
that's
because I'm gonna nurse you back to health, and then you're gonna cheat on me. Yeah, you're going back to ICU.
I mean, it's life, but
What?
it just goes to show
You're a
the
lot
type
more
of
violent than I thought.
I just feel like
you don't hurt my feelings.
it speaks to my character,
Right.
though. You know what I'm saying? I did it, you know what I'm saying? I did it out the kindness of my heart.
Mhm.
You know, I sacrificed something that was very important to me,
Right.
you know, but at the time he was very important to me too.
Right.
So, I mean, it was just a choice I made, you know, and I live with the consequences of it, you know, but I turned out good, you know, my life turned out really good. So,
Look, and you're here.
and I'm here,
So,
like,
right.
but that's definitely something that I will definitely succeed and will accomplish. I definitely will finish school, definitely.
Yeah, well, we're proud of you.
So even with all of the expectations that we've detoured from, do you still, this is a twofold question. So do you think that your parents are proud of you? And most importantly, are you proud of the decisions that you've made?
I would say that my my dad before he passed away was extremely proud of me, and my mom is extremely proud of me. And I say that just because they told me,
Mhm.
and then they did things to show. They talked about, you know, whatever. But more recently, my mom and I went to brunch like probably about 2 weeks ago. And we just started talking about a lot of things and like just catching up, and like it's been a while since just she and I sat down and had a conversation. So and she even said, like, you know, I'm proud of you. Like, you know, I know that you're still working on like A, B, C, and D that you talk about, but I'm proud of you. So it meant a lot to hear that.
Awesome.
Even at almost 34 years old, it still meant a lot to hear that.
My dad, I wouldn't know if he was proud of me or not.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I think somebody has something to say.
I don't have anything to say. I just love the almost 34, like the reminder that your birthday's coming up.
Oh,
He's gonna do that up until, I'm sure, until November 11th, child. We might as well get used to
Make
it.
sure I give a PO box so our openers can send me gifts for my birthday. All right, I'm sorry, Tay.
No, you're good. But as for my dad, I wouldn't know if he was proud of me. Honestly, I wouldn't care if he was or if he wasn't. But my mom definitely always lets me know she's proud of me. She knows she's proud of the man I've become. Despite everything I've been through and stuff, she always lets me know that, I was able to, overcome so much and, still be here and stuff. So yeah, my mom, that's my rock. She always makes sure that, I'm like her favorite. She didn't want to say it, but I know it.
Okay. So now you say you don't care as far as your dad. However, even with life being short and things like that, if you had the opportunity just to like sit down, have a conversation, express how you feel, maybe even ask some questions, and then kind of let that be that and see where things go, would you be open for that, or you wouldn't want to do that?
I tried. He's not open.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's what it is. Yeah. So.
And are you okay with that?
At this point in my life, yeah, I am. At first, I wasn't because again, like I said, my dad went to jail the day after I was born. He got out when I was 16, so I was already damn near grown anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, you're gonna get out of jail, you're gonna, get to know your kids and stuff, but he still never made an attempt. And then when I finally expressed it to him, like how I felt and that I would love to have a relationship with him, he acted as if he wanted one, but he never put the effort. So, I tried so many times to the point where I got to a point where I was just like, okay, I'm 30 now, child. It is what it is. Like, I'm over it.
Do you ever take into account like his mental capacity, being that he was incarcerated for, you said 16 years? So not that that's an excuse, but they say a lot of people are institutionalized once they've been, in an institution for so long. So do you think that has anything to do with it, to where you would kind of give him a little bit of grace, or you feel like it's been too long, he should have been able to put that aside?
I mean, if he was like that with all of us, then I would. Okay. But he's not, because he has a very strong relationship with my little sister. Okay. So it's just like his two oldest, he doesn't have anything to do with, like, at all. And I just don't understand why, when we both have tried to build relationships with him, and at this point, I just feel like you don't want the relationship because, right. We've offered it to you several right. times, despite that you wasn't a part of our lives. You didn't, wasn't help raise us or nothing, but you didn't want it. You still don't want it. Like, till this day, my mom reached out, like, even when I was in the hospital sick, they thought I was going to die. You think he called? You think he came by? Nothing. He don't want it. He don't care. And I've got to a point where I've accepted that, and it is what it is. He's the one that has to deal with that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And he's definitely missing out. And I'm not saying that just to like make you feel better or because, we're friends, but I feel like he's definitely missing out on a lot. So,
because that's his law. I mean, at the end of the day, that karma comes back.
Yeah, that's why I say he has to deal with that. I'm not, I tried. I did my part, as a child, as his son, as his only son at that. You would think that he want to have, a relationship with his only son, but.
Yeah. In my opinion, you cannot be like given the blessing of being a parent and not take care of the blessing that God has given you, and I feel like, there's like addiction and things like that may allow you to derail a little bit and struggle. But when you're like coherent and you're off of all that, then I think there's no way you can just abandon your children. I don't think that's okay. And I think that karma will always come back to people.
And it's like, I hate talking about him because then it makes me emotional. Like, he doesn't deserve my emotion. Like, he doesn't deserve none of that. Like,
but listen.
You're about to therapize. Go ahead, say what you were going to say.
Well, no. So, but I will go ahead and answer the question. So, I believe my parents are proud of me. My mom tells me all the time. But she and I discuss my life in depth 100% of the time. And my dad, it wasn't until I got older and I started recognizing certain things, like whenever I would go visit him, he would drag me around everywhere. And at first I was like, why are we doing this? Like, I hate doing this. Like, you have to go here. You have to go get this.
You want to show you off.
Like, and so then I was like, this man is dragging me around everywhere because he's showing off his son.
Yeah.
Which once I realized it was a really good feeling.
Right.
And so now I'm just like, I just jump at the car and be like, all right, where are we going?
Exactly. So the day he stops dragging you around, then you notice.
Don't be like, you want to go to Walmart?
You don't have any errands to run today.
So you're not still proud, you know? What's going on?
But I'm also at that age where my parents are getting older. And so now the conversations are shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And like now the expectation is when we are gone, what are you guys going to do?
Right.
When we are gone. And so now we're having this conversation about like last will and testaments and last rites and all these other things that I'm just like, I have to get ready for.
Yeah.
Right.
Which has been an interesting conversation, but it has definitely been like a buzzkill for like the last.
Sure.
I think these conversations started like within the last 2 years.
Yeah, nobody want to think about their parents leaving them, you know.
Yeah,
so
no.
But how you were talking about people passing away, like the more people are passing away, it just prompts for my family and prompts us to like say, okay, I know that we dance around this conversation, but let's like get serious.
Let's have it.
Like,
yeah.
Let's put things in place. And I feel like nobody wants to have it. Like everybody hates it. I was telling my youngest brother about my life insurance and like who my beneficiary is, which is one of my sisters, so that she can divvy everything up or whatever. And he's like totally doesn't want to hear the conversation, but then he's like, well, I guess we can go ahead and talk about it because it like, you know, it's real life. So everybody should be having those conversations.
And it's funny because you are about to be 34 and you're having these conversations. Like when I was 34, I was not talking about life insurance.
Yeah, when I was sick, my family did not want to talk about it, but we had to talk about it because like it was so bad. But they did not want to talk about it. They didn't want to accept it.
Like being like, just to remind everyone, I can say near death experience.
Yeah,
right?
near death.
So having that near death experience for people that are just watching the show, like what were your thoughts? Because when you like even told us like everything, the main thing I could think of is like, how is Tay feeling? Like what's going through his head? Like, you know, like he needs a tranquilizer or something just to like, you know, put him out of his mind so he's not thinking about it. So how did you feel?
So you went went straight to drugs? I love Devin is gonna This man is hurting. Let's give him some drugs.
A tranquilizer.
So when I first had a discussion with my doctor, and you know, they were basically telling us like what the prognosis was and stuff, and what, you know, need to be the next steps. You know, it took me some time to, I guess, process it before I actually even told my family, because I had it to be able to accept it first before I'd be able to convince them to accept it, which was very hard. And you know, when I was first going through it, I was just like, okay, well, this is what it is, you know. No, I'm not ready to go. No, I'm not ready to tell my family that, you know, this is what it is. But I had to find some kind of way to make peace with it in order to be comfortable to actually have the conversation. And what I did with that was I prayed about it, and I was just like, you know, God, if this is your will and this is what it's meant to be, if I've done what I need to do, then, you know, I'm ready, you know. I told my family, I sat everybody down, I told everybody what it was, and, you know, everybody took it hard. They didn't want to accept it, especially my mom. But, like, I told her that at the end of the day, you know, I'm okay. Like, I've made peace with it, so I'm okay. I just want you to know that I'm not hurting, I'm not scared, I'm okay. So, you know, if this is what happens, then just know that I'm good, you know. And a lot of things went through my mind because I'm like, wow, I'm so young. Like, this is like really happening. Like, I really have to put a will in place and all of this. And I'm just like, this can't be like what life is, but it is, you know, because you just never know. But I just had to keep myself in a very positive mind frame. And instead of dwelling on what was happening, I just took that time to enjoy my family and friends, like, you know, while I was here and stuff. But actually, here I am still to this day, you know?
Yeah. So
you are.
Yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying I'm glad he's still here, because I mean, these are the kind of stories that we need to be sharing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, for somebody that might be in a similar situation, So you're on the other side of it because you're no longer facing, you know, all that. So what would you say to them that might be at that place that you were in?
I mean, keep fighting, you know, like after everything, like even when I made peace, I never gave up, you know, like I accepted that this may be what it'll be, but that don't mean that I can't keep fighting. Like I knew I wasn't ready to die, you know, so I kept fighting. I kept praying, you know, I kept doing everything it was that I was supposed to do, you know, because at the end of the day, only God has the last say so, you know, and like obviously it wasn't my time, so, you know, I just kept fighting. You know, I looked at my family, my friends, I looked how hurt they was, and that just made me want to fight more because I knew that they wasn't ready for me to leave. So that was like a big motivation, like seeing them like, you know, talk to me like it's not over yet. It's not over yet. You still, you know, you still got time to do this. You still got time to do that. So I would say surround yourself around very positive people, you know, whether it's your friends, your family, or whoever. Because, I mean, when you have positive people around you, it makes you want to continue to fight. Like, I didn't have no negativity. Like, it was no negativity around me. No one saying, like, you know, things like, oh, well, you're just giving up or anything like that. Because when I told them, I thought that's what they were going to say when I actually told them what was going on. So, you just giving up? No, I'm not giving up. I'm just letting you know this is what it is. This is what I'm being told. So, I'm just preparing you just in case this would happen. I never said I was giving up, but I do want you guys to be prepared. I don't want it to be a surprise and, you know, I not say nothing and then, you know, everything just happens. So, never give up, you know, because you never know what God has in store for you. And I feel like I went through everything I went through to be able here to tell this story today to maybe help somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Absolutely. And before we move on, we didn't answer the second part of the question. So
What was the second part?
Are we proud of ourselves? Or how proud of you are? How proud of you are you?
Bitch, you know you're proud of yourself, girl.
No, I will say that I'm proud of myself. And I will say I'm proud of myself considering certain things that I've been through and have been able to overcome. However, I had a vision for myself that I would be a lot further than where I am now in a few different areas of my life. So I don't think that takes away from like any accomplishments or anything like that, but I would be more proud if like my vision for myself went as planned. And I know that that's like, you know, God has a final say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my.
So is that expectation that you put on yourself, was that in like a time frame thing? Like by 39 I wanted to be in a relationship and I wanted to have this and I want to have this, like by these certain dates and milestones? Or, well, answer that first.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's not like achieving this or that by the date that I had thought or planned or would like to.
Are you still working in a way that's allowing you to achieve those goals that you want for yourself?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm proud of that, but I would be more proud if things were more solid. I think.
I think a lot of us go through that. I can say that I am extremely proud of myself. I love the journey that I've been on. I love who I've become. Do I want more? Yes. And I think that's natural. And I can take satisfaction in knowing that more is still available to me.
That's the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part.
And like there are little things along the way that remind me that I'm kind of the shit. And like I can speak myself up a little bit because like even when we were chatting the other day and you're just like, Solomon, you do it all.
Right.
And I was just like, I do, damn it. I do.
You do.
But it took so long for me to like pat myself on the back for that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that is, you know, there was a period of my life when I was essentially on my own. I don't think I had to be on my own, but I was on my own to prove a point. And so I threw myself into survival mode. And so there was a lot of things that I just had to figure out. And there was a lot of things that I just did. That now it's just like people are like, oh, so you make shea butter? You know how to make shea butter? You know how to design logos? You know how to,
Right.
you know how to do all these things?
Right.
And I'm just like, well, shoot, if you need to make a quick dollar and someone needs some designs, like you sit down at a computer and you figure it out.
Right.
And so, yeah, I can now pat myself on the back for all of that.
So, do you want to answer the question first before I ask my question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do y'all feel like, because it sounds like we're hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So do y'all, and we were talking about like deflecting and things like that. Do y'all think that sometimes we kind of like put those same expectations on other people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm hard on my fiance. Very hard.
Yeah. I had a conversation this week with one of my sisters, and we kind of haven't been talking for like a couple days. And we finally like got it together. But it was my fault. Accountability. It was my fault.
Jeez.
But I think that in this moment, like I kind of like came across like I was disappointed, which I wasn't. But my tone kind of did that, and she felt it. And it's like I love that my siblings don't like when I'm disappointed in them. However, it's like I have to remember like this whole expectation thing. And like just because I'm not trying to be a perfectionist, but I think I naturally just am, and I'm super hard on myself, doesn't mean that you can kind of put those same like hard expectations on other people. So.
That's true. And I think the biggest part of that, and I think that's what makes dating very hard, is because we have those expectations that we're placing on ourselves, and we're striving to be something as opposed to just being. And then now you need to have a house and no roommates, and you need to drive this kind of car, and you need to do this, and
you gotta pay for this date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so now we're putting people at a disadvantage because we have these lofty goals for ourselves.
Right. Remember when I was talking about damn it, I don't know if I can say it.
You can.
Good.
If it's a person, just say person.
I was gonna say their profession, but if they see the show, when they see the show, they're gonna know I'm talking about them. So remember, I was like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I told you I was meeting up with someone of a certain profession, and Rodney's like, "Oh, you must be desperate because that's what they do. That's what they do." So I'm like, there we go again with the expectations, because I mean, ideally with his profession, I wouldn't think that he has like tons of money. But we don't know, like, you know, he may save money well. And I'm not dating this person, but he may save money well. He may, like, have a trust fund or something. Like, you never know. Like, I feel like just because they have a certain job or profession doesn't really speak to their finances necessarily.
You know, the one episode that still kind of bugs me?
What?
Is when we had to talk about, when we were forced to answer. I'm going to go ahead and say it because he's not here. But when Rodney forced us to answer, like, could you date somebody at this salary level or at this pay level?
He did force us to answer.
And I was just like, I could be good, and no, give us. And so like, I was like 50,000.
Yeah.
Like that 50,000 still bothers me.
Why?
Because like there are people who don't make 50,000, but there could be a person who doesn't make 50,000, but could be everything that I need.
Oh yeah, in that sense, okay.
Yeah, and so when I think about that 50,000, like it bugs me because I'm just like, like you could really be throwing away a whole future because someone's like now is like, well, I don't make 50,000, or
right.
But shit, if you make more than 50,000, great. Right. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, when we start placing limitations on people, then we're really placing limitations on ourselves. But
that's a good quote that somebody should steal from the show. That's a good quote.
Or you know, they could just say, "Hey, we heard this on Open Relationship." They don't need to steal it.
Steal it, but like, you know, I heard this on.
Yeah. All right. What's your thoughts? Which question were we on?
Right.
We were on the one where we were asking.
Oh, are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I definitely feel like I'm proud of the person I've become. I'm not proud of that I'm not where I want to be, but I am working towards that. But overall, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm. Yeah, I guess I am. You know, been through a lot of shit, but I would have. I could have took a pass on all that and still, but no, I'm proud of who I am. I've become a really good person.
Really quickly, while we're talking about being proud of each other, ourselves, before we move on to Left on Red, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh shit.
So what would you like really quick, because we gotta like wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
But what would you tell your younger self? So say like now, what would you tell like your 11, 12, 13-year-old self?
This, I would tell my 10, 11-year-old self, you are enough.
Oh, that's close to what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I would say that because, and just to give backstory for people who haven't been with us for 26 weeks, but there have been struggles with self-esteem. There have been struggles with self-worth. And I think a lot of this conversation from today about those expectations that I primarily put on myself was just about not feeling like I was enough.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with a lot of what you said.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I would tell myself, be who you are. I feel like a lot of, and people like in my family and friends even noticed like I wasn't really happy until like I came out and like, I'm comfortable like just being Devin. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of happier moments because I was so like, like just not myself, like in a box, just like worried about people gonna say, think, all that. So should have just been myself from day one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to grow up so fast.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I think that was one of my biggest issues growing up, trying to grow up so fast. Like trying to be grown, trying to date people older than me and stuff. So
you want to fuck so bad.
Oh my God. Well, maybe so. But, I like the older guys at the time. So, and I think that's why I grew up so fast, because of the type of people I dated.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
A lot
of sense.
I love it.
Such a good conversation.
Even with a serious conversation, you're gonna throw something like that somewhere.
Well, I was just saying what it was sounding like to me, and it sounds like I was right. Because you ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so this segment of our show, you guys' most favorite and loved segment, is Left on Red. So with this segment, for those of you that are just joining us, this segment, we have someone writing a letter, and you can send it via email to openrelationshippodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
So you just send in a letter, and if you want advice, you want to comment, whatever the case, but just send it in. So tonight's letter reads, I'm writing in because I want you all's take or opinion on what I have going on. My boyfriend and I are high school sweethearts, and I feel like, in a sense, our love is deeper than most high school sweethearts, because we were together during a time where no one knew we were together. We started off as in the closet lovers, high school, and then senior year we came out, and it was even better to be able to share our love. This was about 7 years ago. To this day, I still love him, but the sex just isn't what it used to be. It almost sucks. I know a relationship is based on more, but great sex has always been a strong suit for us, and I'm not sure how long I can go on without being sexually satisfied, especially because I know what it used to be like. Do I say something? Do I try to please myself more? What would you do? Y'all can go first on this one.
So that's kind of hard.
Ooh.
What would y'all do?
Sure.
I would want to know what changed. I think there's a conversation in there somewhere. Because you've dated through high school. You shared this secrecy, this intimacy, like you guys were in it, which means that you wanted to be in it. And then you came out your senior year, and then here we are 7 years later, and now the sex is not as good when it used to be great. So there could be something going on. I think there's an honest conversation in there somewhere.
So you would just mention it and go from there?
Mention what?
The sex sucking. The sex is whack.
I probably wouldn't say it like that, but
how would you say it?
I don't know.
Would you mention sex? Would you just say something changed?
I would probably say something changed, and then like one of the bullet points would be like the sex.
Okay. So like
hasn't
ease
been
the
as good.
sex in versus the sex being the.
Yeah, because the sex probably isn't the big deal. It's probably not the biggest thing going on.
Okay.
Because I mean, you've been with this person like because they said 7 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and so you've been with this person for some time. Like you know this person, and so I'm also thinking like, am I being selfish thinking about the sex as opposed to thinking about what's going on with my partner or what's going on between us? Because it may not be a partner issue. It could just be a us thing,
Right.
or shit, it could be a me thing.
Well, you definitely just gave this person a lot to unpack. But I mean, I don't. This is tough because I don't want to seem like sex is like everything, but sex is a big deal, and I feel like if you're noticing a change, then it's probably like the emotional connection that's changing.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out, like you said, is it me, like, or is it you? Is there somebody else? Do you not feel the same? Are you stressed? I would talk about it. Like if we always have great sex, and now I'm still like horny after, then we need to talk.
I agree. Yeah, no, I'm straightforward. I'm just like, look, what's going on? I need to know because I mean, you don't want to like, what she say? You don't want it to be like you're there and maybe when y'all having sex, maybe he's not there mentally. Maybe he's not even there in the moment no more. You know, like a child. Maybe you're just not good at it no more. Like.
So you saying maybe it's them?
Yeah, it could be. Like
Well,
maybe
they said maybe you ain't putting out the way you used to.
maybe he's just not enjoying you no more. Like maybe you need to spark it up. Or
So
something.
that's a different. So that the partner not enjoying them anymore is different than like this person's sexual abilities declining.
Yeah, maybe it's just the same old, same old. Maybe he ain't switching it up. Maybe it's boring.
Can you write us again and give us more details?
After this, you might not want to.
I do feel like I need more.
Yeah.
I agree though. We need more of a story, but yeah, you might want to look.
For now, just chew on that piece of advice. But write us again so we can get a little more. I feel like if we had a little bit more of a bigger picture, then we can probably give more accurate advice, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, sex is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is a big deal in a relationship. But I'm also like inclined to think like us, we are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if there's something between us that needs to be fixed, then that should probably take priority.
So if the sex can't be fixed, would you stay?
So if there's something else in the relationship that's broken,
You're not answering the question.
You going around it?
no. So if the sex can't be like, I haven't had bad sex, so I don't know.
So if God forbid, knock on wood, you had bad sex,
and it can't be fixed,
like for the rest of my life,
and it can't be fixed.
We're in a good healthy relationship, but the sex just got really bad. Would you be
stay?
Like, all right?
I would.
Oh, okay.
Devin?
I don't know because I feel like that would leave me wanting more. And I wouldn't want to like bump into the wrong person and they just be trying to give me more. So, not that I'm a cheater, but I just wouldn't want that. Like I want to be completely satisfied. What about you?
That's understandable.
All right, production stand, we got to go. But what about you?
As you wear the ring on your finger.
I know.
Let's get into this hesitation.
Right, you be hesitating a lot.
Right?
Questions that you should be like.
I mean, yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah.
It'd be hard, but I would stay. It would just be something that we'll just have to try.
So you're just gonna let him get away with that?
Checking off. I'll stay. It might be a lot of self-pleasuring, but I'll stay.
A lot of toys.
Okay, go ahead, close it out.
That's too much. That's too much. But we have to go ahead and wrap. Are you going to close this out?
I'll close this out.
Oh, yeah, you close out anyway.
Yeah.
Duh.
So thank you, openers. Thank you for joining the three of us as we, what do? We
swallow our top.
We swallow before we spit, right?
We swallow our top and spit our difference of opinions.
Okay.
Wait, you said you don't spit?
No.
Oh. Really? Ever?
Okay, bye, openers.